Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Of the NASRA Blanchard's Towing Xfinity Series. Brady LaBeouf will win the championship and the race in the Butt Kicker 250.
Keith Bradley gets his second championship on the Friday Night Series with the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series Season 8. This rookie season, he will win the championship for the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jesus might have just left Chicago, but guess who's in town? You damn right. It's the NASRA Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series getting started for the playoffs of the Sweet 20. You're going to see it all live right here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network, the DSR Electric 200 here at Chicagoland Speedway. Good evening, folks. I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. The Australian Dean Hopton Biggle is going to be giving us some fantastic camera angles, and also Steve the Viking Bartlett in the house co-commentating with me tonight. Steven, baby, here we are. We're at Chicagoland. It's playoff time.
It's the beginning of the playoffs. This is the time of the season where it really gets fun to start watching these guys, see how they maneuver around each other, see how they could even screw each other at times. And these guys that aren't in the playoffs, how they get involved and rearrange this leaderboard.
It's going to get interesting to see it. There you see MDW, Newton, Bruce, McGill winning at Michigan in that thriller between him and Jeff Ryan Johnson, Martinsville, and obviously Joshua Rodriguez absolutely spoiled the party last week at Daytona. Got the win, locked himself into the playoffs. Be interesting to see how that one works out. But we got trucks on the grid and on the pole. One of those guys that won at Martinsville about 2 weeks ago, Ryan Johnson, Toddy Horse, up here on the pole to his outside. A man that's got about 4 wins this season as Tristan Bruce. He'll start on his outside. MDW won at the Circuit of the Americas earlier on in the season. He will end up starting third. Jordan Jurassic, another driver, going to be in the playoffs here this evening. Another driver that's got a good amount of wins in this series so far this season, Holden McGill. He's going to start in the 5th spot. Dustin Scruggs, another playoff driver. He'll start from P6. Isaac Bevan, Ed Osborne in 7th and 8th. Adam Newton just absolutely rocking a fantastic paint scheme on his number 19 Toyota. He's going to roll off in P9, and Chris Blanchard's going to roll off P10 to you, Steve.
And at P11, we have Stephen Gregory in the 61 on his outside, and P12, Matthew Montgomery. Then in row 7, we have Brian Chu in the 51, CJ Fonda in the 40. In row 8, Adam Newbert and Brendan Broadfoot. In row 9, Joshua Suss, Jose Luis Rivera. And in row 10, we have Stephen Thomas and James Beard.
Then rolling off in P21, going to be Robbie Richards in the 48 for Up Front Motorsports. Still can't believe I'm actually saying that about old Robbie Richards. But anyway, Dylan Cardenas going to be rolling off P22. Raul Meza may end up, he didn't even gas up right there at the start. He might be playing around on his phone. We'll have to check in on that here in a little bit, Dean. But he's starting 23rd. Devin Painter, one of those guys from Blue Line Racing. He is in the playoffs. He's got a shot. He'll start from the 24th spot. Cody Nod, Eric Zimmerman, 25th, 26th. Dane Hagan be starting 27th. Shane Trotter's going to roll off P28. Well, Hunt Wellington, who we talked about him on the door banging download, talked to him and a couple other Blue Line guys. He'll start 29th, last driver to take a time here tonight. Matt Cherry, Joshua Rodriguez won last week at Daytona. Brandon Bullock, Keith Haney, Kyle Hess, the 34 drivers that's going to start here tonight for the DSR Electric 200. TJ Moore, your race director here this evening. Let's take a look at the race details for us this evening. Give us an idea of kind of what we're going to be looking at. And there you see it right there. 45 going to be right there at the end of stage number 1. We'll have a caution. Stage 2, we're going to continue under green if there's no caution around at that point, but we will continue under green at 95. 145 to the end. 5 sets of total tires. That's 4 in the pits, 1 on the truck. 75% fuel capacity, obviously 3 green, white, checkered. Steven, what's your take on what we're going to have to really be watching out for here tonight at Chicagoland?
I think what we're really going to need to be watching out for is some of these guys that aren't in the playoffs. How they can mess with these guys that are in the playoffs and maybe even pick a few of them out here in 3 races when they advance.
That'll be interesting right there. You see Brian Chew down there at the bottom. Funny note, I talked about this on the Door Banging Download earlier this week for Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I talked about Brian Chew, and I was a little bit more colorful than what I'm going to say here on the broadcast because I actually had me a couple cold beers. But I more or less said Brian Chew was actually straight up shocked that he made it. He thought he was out. That's how thin that line was to be able to get into this 20-man run right here for the Sweet 20. Brian Chew was actually very shocked that he made it in. And Brian Chew going to be starting up here inside the top 15. See if he can keep that number 51 up there. Pace car is off. Folks, we're ready to rock and roll. Get you a cold one, kick on back, and we hope that you will enjoy the DSR Electric 200 Chicagoland Speedway. We're playoff racing with the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, and we got all of them up here already pushing, shoving, going into turn 1. Johnson on the bottom, Wood on the inside. Tristan Bruce got no help. They're going to slide back a little bit. McGill trying to go big caution 15. Dylan Cardenas goes around. A number of other drivers goes around as well. Caution on the Speedway before we even get to turn 3.
Well, you know, these guys were doing so good these last few weeks, limiting the cautions, and it's kind of unbelievable already. All they do is get to the backstretch and they start wrecking already.
I'm looking right here, but CJ Fondale actually in the number 40. You see it right there, Fondale right here in front of Broadfoot. And Fondale just kind of loses it, bam, head on into the wall. Broadfoot absolutely nowhere to go for him. Cardenas tried to see if he could slide by it. He ends up getting tagged as well. There's Stephen Thomas down there in the number 23. He's just trying to see if he could ease by it and not be able to put himself in any type of harm's way. But hard contact right there for C.J. Fondale. And I've been in that situation right there, Steven, right there coming off of turn 2. You got to be careful on turn 2 when you're on cold tires. Back end can step out, but from what I saw, I mean, I thought oh, wow, that's a hellacious hit right there, too, for Dylan Cardenas right there, getting involved. Broadfoot right there as well. A couple of other drivers back there, Devin Painter, all these guys. Remember, Painter, one of those guys in the playoffs. I was reminded numerous times earlier today when we had the segment for the Beer Buddies with Hunt Wigington, Keith Bradley, and Adam Newton. Completely forgot about old Devin Painter, but he is with Blue Line Racing, and he is running for a championship. But like I was saying, Steve, these guys get off of turn 2. You got to be careful not to get on them seams. That back end step out. you could end up just like CJ Fondown.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's a good example of somebody starting to get loose, and then they overcorrect, and he overcorrected hard and went up into the wall and collected up some other guys with him.
He absolutely hit the wall so hard his ancestors probably felt that one right there. But up front, Ryan Johnson still got the lead. MDW started third. Actually, he's up a spot. So he's sitting in second. Tristan Bruce started on the outside of the front row. Check out Brandon Broadfoot right there in the 22. We saw the playoff grid, and Broadfoot's in this bad boy, too. So, I mean, Broadfoot's got a shot to try to get him some for the playoff bracket. At least that's from what I saw. I'm going to double check and make sure that I'm not giving y'all any kind of bad information. Yes, Broadfoot is up in that Sweet 20. So, not necessarily how you want to start your playoff run right here, Steven. Getting caught up in a wreck before you even get to turn 3.
No, that's some pretty bad luck right there. That's the last thing you want to do. First race of the playoffs is get into a wreck and possibly even get knocked out of the race.
And actually, as bad as I got to say it, I know his luck really good. Y'all see it. Everybody else sees it 3 nights a week so far, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. It seems like, I've kind of got the luck that Broadfoot you just saw right there. Check out Joshua Suss right there with the number 80 out here rocking and rolling. He's sitting up here in the top 15 right there. Lime green, whatever the hell he's got on the hood of his car, all that good stuff. There's Joshua Rodriguez. Got a virtual camera right there for Joshua Rodriguez. And starting back here at about the 31st spot. He's already moved up a couple spots, but when did you in? That's going to be the big thing about that. We're going actually to hear from Raul Meza, trying to look. Meza sitting in the 18th spot. We're going to try to see if maybe is he on his phone? Is he on his phone, Dean? I cannot tell. No, I don't believe he's on his phone. He probably just had enough of it. He probably turned the camera on and said, you know what, screw it. I'm not even going to get on the damn thing. I don't want to get myself in no trouble, but that's going to be interesting, I guess. I was fixing to say something, Steve, but obviously we're going to check out the schedule right here. Here you see it, DSR Electric Truck Series. Monday will be at Twin Ring Motegi going up to Japan. I have not brushed up on that, not one damn bit. Xfinity will be at Talladega. That's going to be a good one. You got the NASRA Cup Series. Obviously, they will be racing with the Gen 6. At Pocono, that's going to be a good one. Obviously, Goat Locker. And then right here with the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series on Friday nights. But, Steven, like I was going to say, winning yen mentality, that's got to get everybody fired up here tonight in the Windy City.
Oh, for sure. And the other thing, too, is the stage points. These guys are going to want to get in there and get as many stage points as they can. That'll help them move on to the next phase also.
And 2 drivers that you see right there on that playoff grid, want to make sure that everybody knows. Keith Bradley, Jeff Mert. Matter of fact, the past 2 seasons, champions, not here this evening. One on vacation, one at work. Real life gets in the way sometimes, Steven. That's how it ends up working out. But here we go. Going to get ready for a restart. Pace car off. Johnson gasses up. We're green once again here at Chicagoland. And big-time jump right here by Ryan Johnson. MDW is going to slip back into that second spot. Tristan Bruce to the inside. Here comes McGill. Now Holden going to try to follow Tristan on the inside and gang up on MDW off turn 2.
Ryan Johnson now coming into turn 3. Tristan Bruce hot on his tail, holding McGill up there at the bottom behind Tristan Bruce. Matthew Wood, Jordan Jurassic. Those are the top 5 all single file right now.
And obviously everybody trying to roll down here on the bottom side. Big battle may be brewing up here with the lead. Tristan Bruce trying to get around Ryan Johnson. Look to the outside, thought better, jump back in line. Johnson's going to lead that train. Looking all the way back past Jordan Jurassic. You got Dustin Scruggs back there sitting in the 6th spot. Bevan back here trying to hold off Adam Newton, the number 19 back there, as well as Stephen Gregory and Ed Osborne. But right behind them, you got some serious moving right here with Gregory right here in front of him. Bevan went all the way down to the bottom, tried to make it work. You see it right there with Brian Chew Matthew Montgomery in that 96, he's trying to make a little bit of headway. Slides up, Osborne damn near tags him in the tailgate. Osborne's going to go down the inside of Montgomery in 3.
Continue to watch these guys with Montgomery, Osborne, and Newbert and Chu all fighting for that one spot. Coming out of past the start-finish line into turn 1.
Thomas down on the bottom side. He saw a hole, said, screw it. Let's see if we can stick it where the sun doesn't shine and maybe try to make it stick. Here up front, battle for the lead. Bruce on the top side. Johnson down on the bottom side. Bruce going to try to pinch him down. Got to be careful. Don't want to get too far on that right rear. Accidentally right rear hooking. McGill right behind him. Wood trying to look down to the inside, but the battle is on for the lead here at Chicagoland. Johnson on the bottom. Bruce up top. McGill, Wood, and Jurassic trying to run them down as well.
Oh, and there they go.
Johnson hard into the outside retaining wall, and the whole, literally everything blinking after what has just happened. I think iRacing is straight up shocked that I called that before it happened. Really was worried about that, thinking that was actually going to happen. I had a bad feeling. I had a feeling that right there was going to happen. Just kind of comes down right there. I mean, that's just net code. This is going to be very, very bad net code if we can get a replay of this right here. Steven, that was just very, very bad net code right there between Tristan Bruce and Ryan Johnson. You see it right there.
On the inside.
Oh, my gosh. Hard contact right there, and then that's when it just pretty much just goes haywire at that point. And Ryan Johnson actually chiming up in the driver chat right here. It never ends. Maybe some beef right there was well. Yes. Tristan Bruce right there. You see him was the one that kind of got the right rear hook right there. Sharon Bruce out there in the live chat was really pulling for T. Bruce to pull it off here tonight. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. CJ Fondale right there. And, I expect to see each and every driver right here, Steven, go down pit road right here. You're going to see a couple of them decide to stay out. But I had a feeling, any of them that maybe got involved in that wreck right there, I got a feeling that they're going to end up probably going down and getting some damage fixed. And we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. We're going to step aside for just a quick second and see if we can try to get that cleared up.